Greenland. What the hell happened in Davos? And if you've been watching the news, you know the answer. Donald Trump showed up and walked away with just about everything he wanted. Every January, the global elite gather in Davos, Switzerland, for the World Economic Forum, where they all go to sip champagne and talk about the big problems that face the peons like me and you, like climate change, and then they hop in their private jets and they go home. But this year, one topic completely stole the spotlight: Trump and Greenland. Okay, two topics. First, a little context. As we all probably know by now, Greenland isn't just a frozen island. It's strategically critical. It sits near key Arctic sea routes. It's rich in rare earth minerals, and it's semi-autonomous under Denmark, meaning it governs itself, but technically under Danish sovereignty. Enter Donald Trump at Davos. He reminded the world that the U.S. has always had a vital interest in Greenland. He argued clearly and confidently the U.S. should have a stronger presence there, ensuring security and protecting American interest, as well as European interest, to be honest. Trump didn't shy away, shockingly. He reminded everyone that Europe has not been able or capable to defend the island themselves, and that America stepping in would guarantee stability. And he did it with his trademark clarity. No beating around the bush, no politicking. Yes, the headlines focused on Trump wants to buy Greenland, what a fool. But here's the thing. He made threats. He insinuated, no argument. But he used smart negotiating tactics like the classic Trump and the art of the deal, opening the door, the Arctic door, for the U.S. to secure strategic influence over not just Greenland, but the entire Arctic itself. And all of this without firing a shot and without spending a dime. So stick with me, because we're about to uncover what really happened at Davos behind closed doors. And please, take a second, just hit that like button and subscribe button. I know you've heard all this before, but it really does help. And once you hit it, you're done. It's free, no obligations. It's like we used to say in the cockpit, set it and forget it. Really helps me out, though, and I appreciate it. Anyway, while at Davos, Trump had essentially accomplished four big things. He reminded Europe and the world that Greenland is critical to American security, as well as to European security, and that Europe has proven, as I said, to be incapable of defending it. Number two, the global powers were now paying attention to U.S. interest in the Arctic. Not because of military force, but because of Trump force. Number three, Trump made it clear that he could negotiate without unnecessary conflict, and that America can assert its interest while avoiding any kind of war. And finally, number four, Greenland now has the world's attention as a strategic asset, and Trump positioned the U.S. as the key player.
We want Europe to be strong. Ultimately, these are matters of national security, and perhaps no current issue makes the situation more clear than what's currently going on with Greenland. Would you like me to say a few words of Greenland? I was going to leave it out of the speech, but I think I would have been reviewed very negatively. I have tremendous respect for both the people of Greenland and the people of Denmark, tremendous respect. But every NATO ally has an obligation to be able to defend their own territory. And the fact is, no nation or group of nations is in any position to be able to secure Greenland other than the United States. We're a great power. much greater than people even understand. I think they found that out 2 weeks ago in Venezuela. We saw this in World War II when Denmark fell to Germany after just 6 hours of fighting and was totally unable to defend either itself or Greenland. So the United States was then compelled. We did it. We felt an obligation to do it, to send our own forces to hold the Greenland territory. And hold it we did at great cost and expense. They didn't have a chance of getting on it, and they tried. Denmark was. We literally set up bases on Greenland for Denmark. We fought for Denmark. We weren't fighting for anyone else. We were fighting to save it for Denmark. Big, beautiful piece of ice. It's hard to call it land. It's a big piece of ice. But we saved Greenland and successfully prevented our enemies from gaining a foothold in our hemisphere. So we did it for ourselves also. And then after the war, which we won it big. Without us, right now you'd all be speaking German and a little Japanese, perhaps. After the war, we gave Greenland back to Denmark. How stupid were we to do that? But we did it. But we gave it back. But how ungrateful are they now? So now our country and the world face much greater risks than it did ever before because of missiles, because of nuclear, because of weapons of warfare that I can't even talk about. 2 weeks ago, they saw weapons that nobody ever heard of. They weren't able to fire one shot at us. They said, what happened? Everything was discombobulated. They said, we've got them in our sights. Press the trigger, and nothing happened. No anti-aircraft missiles went up. There was one that went up about 30 feet and crashed down right next to the people that sent it. They said, what the hell is going on? Those defensive systems were made by Russia and by China. So they're going to go back to the drawing boards, I guess. Greenland is a vast, almost entirely uninhabited and undeveloped territory that's sitting undefended in a key strategic location between the United States, Russia, and China. That's exactly where it is, right smack in the middle. Wasn't important nearly when we gave it back. You know, when we gave it back, it wasn't the same as it is now. It's not important for any other reason. Everyone talks about the minerals. There's so many places. There's no rare earth. No such thing as rare earth. There's rare processing. But there's so much rare earth. And to get to this rare earth, you got to go through hundreds of feet of ice. That's not the reason we need it. We need it for strategic national security and international security. This enormous unsecured island is actually part of North America on the northern frontier of the Western Hemisphere. That's our territory. It is therefore a core national security interest of the United States of America. And in fact, it's been our policy for hundreds of years to prevent outside threats from entering our hemisphere. And we've done it very successfully. We've never been stronger than we are now. That's why American presidents have sought to purchase Greenland for nearly 2 centuries. You know, for 2 centuries, they've been trying to do it. They should have kept it after World War II, but they had a different president. That's all right. People think differently. Much more necessary now than it was at that time, however. In 2019, Denmark said that they would spend over $200 million to strengthen Greenland's defenses. But as you know, they spent less than 1% of that amount. 1%. There's no sign of Denmark there. And I say that with great respect for Denmark, whose people I love, whose leaders are very good. It's the United States alone that can protect this giant mass of land, this giant piece of ice, develop it and improve it and make it so that it's good for Europe and safe for Europe and good for us. And that's the reason I'm seeking immediate negotiations to once again discuss the acquisition of Greenland by the United States.
So Trump walked into a European-dominated forum and walked out on top. all without firing a shot or spending a dime.
Well, I'm not going to have to pay anything. We're going to have total access to Greenland. We're going to have all military access that we want. We're going to be able to put what we need on Greenland because we want it. We're talking about national security and international security. So we're going to not have to pay anything other than the fact that we are building the Golden Dome, and the Golden Dome is going to be something that's going to be very amazing.
Our media is all over Trump's astonishing victory for America. Not. The media were all over this when Trump was spinning out of control, causing global crisis, until he wasn't. Let's face it, Trump is on top of the issues that are critical to America. He was the only one talking about our southern border when he was running during his first term. They mocked him. They mocked him and any need for a wall. He was the only one talking about the dangerous rise of China. Remember during the 2020 campaign, Biden, back when he was able to string a full sentence together, said that China was our friend and to stop confronting them. Turns out China was certainly Biden's friend, but that's for another whole video. Trump was the only one talking about the Panama Canal and China's influence there. He's on top of everything. He cleared the Chinese out without firing a single shot. Trump was not the only one talking about Maduro and Venezuela, though. When Maduro was running the entire region's drug trafficking cartel and hosting most of the U.S.'s enemies, right in our own backyard, including Russia, China, and Iran. Biden's handlers placed a $25 million bounty on Maduro's head to capture him. Of course, when Trump actually did capture him, all hell broke loose. Many radical leftists and their basement-dwelling kids went onto the streets to protest. Rather telling that the people of Venezuela went out on their streets to celebrate the capture of Maduro. Check out my video, Venezuelans Celebrate Leftist Protest. It's pretty interesting, to say the least. So Trump walked into Davos, facing scorn and disdain, and he walked out, forcing the allies to confront reality. And the reality is that Europe is incapable of defending not just Greenland, but the Arctic itself. He anchored U.S. leadership in the Arctic security, and he opened doors without triggering conflict. Plenty of controversy, absolutely, but not conflict. We can all feel a lot more secure now that America dominates the Arctic. Hey, thanks for stopping by O'Reilly's Corner. Hope you enjoyed being here as much as I enjoyed having you. I'll see you in the next video. I'm Mike O'Reilly.